Welcome back, family.
All right.
Mangituru Zari.
Mangituru Adam.
Magito will.
Yes. So today, y'all, we have a topic that we really are passionate about. But before we hop into that, we want to give y'all positivity to start off any conversation that we have. So our quote of the day, Will.
All
What's our
right.
quote?
All right. So let's get into it, right? Um, and I pulled this one from an African proverb, okay? Um, and it says, "A roaring lion kills no game." Right? A roaring
Yeah.
lion kills no game. So you say, okay, what does that mean? What does that mean? What does that mean? Listen, if you don't take action, if you don't do something other than run your mouth and talk, don't expect to receive something that you didn't even start or begin with at all. Period. You didn't even put the work in. You didn't start. You didn't attempt. You didn't take the first step. All you did was just run your mouth, talk, make noise. You had zero action.
Right.
So
Right.
It's too true.
that's what it is today.
Look, I love it. I love it.
Okay, so from that quote, I think we all took away from that. It's about action, putting in the work,
Absolutely.
putting in the energy behind anything that you want to accomplish,
Yep.
anything that you want to achieve. So we have, as always, our word of Wolof, and today,
Our Water Wolof family is Dafa Share. Now, when you
That's
walk into the market, you know, before you see that last price and you see that ticket and it says 1,000 Dalasi for a pencil, Dafa Share, too expensive. That's what that means. Dafa Share. Now, we're going to get into some more terminology when you're in the market in these next couple of episodes, so look out for that. But Dafa Share, that's the word of Wolof for today. Too expensive, family. So whenever you're in that market and you get that price and you know it's just a little bit too high, let them people know Dafa Share, and they're gonna say, "Whoa, he knows a little bit more than we thought he knew."
right.
and y'all, don't ever underestimate the power of trying to learn a different language when
Absolutely.
you're in a different culture in a different place, because they know that you're not going to know that much of it. But if they see that you put any kind of effort towards trying to learn, they will welcome you with warm hands, and they'll even try to teach you. If you really really want to get it down, they'll try to
Right.
teach you more things that you would never know from the internet, from a book, because they're locals, they live there. So definitely put in that first step of trying to learn the language, and I promise you they'll try to help you.
Like how we enter with Mangituru, which is my name is. Even if you learn a simple phrase like that, introducing yourself, which you do when you first meet everyone you meet, is important. So, like she said, create that little word of Wolof connection.
Right.
Absolutely.
So, today we have our new segment. Y'all know, y'all been following us. We usually go into our new segment and then we go off into a different topic. But today, our new segment is the topic. We are very much concerned about the Gambian rising power struggles. And Will, I want you to take off on this one and really kind of tell the people what is going on right now with the power in Gambia.
Okay. All right. We're gonna unpack a few things here today. Thanks so much, Sadi. Appreciate it. Okay. If you spent if you spent more than 24 or 48 hours on the ground in Gambia, your power has gone out at some point. If you spend at least a week in Gambia, you've experienced some power outage. But this time it's a little different, right? So currently, I'm talking about like right now, today, um, there's been a power outage locally um, in Serekunda area, the Banjul area, extensively for a minimum of 8 hours in
Uh,
large grid areas, right? So you're talking about a very warm climate, pretty hot, okay, and it's hot. It's just hot. It's what it is. And so um, NAWAC is basically the government power company. That's what that is, right? And so there's been issues with NAWAC being able to keep the power running, or even keep the power running at the right voltage in most locations, to include commercial and residential. And so what's going on is, uh, based off an article that we were able to find through the Point, which report local Gambian news. Uh, One of the issues this time is uh, the power interruptions are coming from unpaid debt. We this is going to be a little uncomfortable, but apparently there's some unpaid arrears um, uh, funding that hasn't been received from Senelec, which is the Senegal power company. Um, and so Senegal is currently right now what they were before, up until here recently, helping to power Gambia. They were sharing power with Gambia.
Yes.
And um, so right now, the Banjul KMC West Coast Lower River region is in the rears for the power payment. So what's happened is the Senelec, Senelec, Senegalese power company, has started to kind of cut power to areas in Gambia, or restrict power to areas in Gambia. For that reason, we're not making this up. This is where it is. This is what we're reading. And unfortunately, that's affecting a huge percentage of Gambians right now. The estimation of the NAWAC owes Senelec, or basically Gambia owes Senegal Power Company, is estimated to be close to 900 million dalasi.
Oh my goodness.
In the arrears, I'm sorry, uh, which cannot be paid without government's immediate intervention. So um, we assume that there may be some talks between the two governments where they're trying to negotiate and figure something out. Again, here at GCO, we try to stay positive on what that is. We don't really dig into a whole bunch of politics and what's really the politicking of what's happening between governments and stuff. But again, this is available on the Point. If you Google the Point, Gambian news, you'll find the exact same information. We just reading what's already been printed. That's all we're doing here. And it looks like the Gambia government's last payment of outstanding arrears to NAWEC was about 138 million dalasi, which was last year. Yeah, it was last year. Sources reveal it. Whoever their sources are, we're not exactly sure of that, but this is what they wrote the article. So since then, the government is yet to settle arrears of over 500 million it owes the National Electric Company. So
Okay, and that was a lot of information. I want you guys to kind of take in what he said, rewind it, rewatch it. But essentially what he's talking about is debt, which a lot of people, not just governments, get into, and it trickles down and affects different areas of their lives, different areas of their community. And so, we personally believe that that's one of the bigger problems with electricity. The electricity issue in Gambia is the fact that it's not standing on its own.
Yes.
100%.
That's the biggest problem.
And it seems like even though, and Will, I want you to talk about this a little bit more. It seems like, you know, right now the Senegalese has a big storage of power. They have multiple buildings, multiple ways of getting power and giving power. And so, why would they consistently not have power then if they have these, big places that is producing power
Exactly.
continuously? So we'll tell them a little bit more about, how many different energy storages that they have, a little bit about what they run on, if you have the voltage near you, give the people that. But also, you guys, we always encourage you to do your own research, do your own research, do your own research. We want to give y'all a slice of the pie, but you're never gonna get that whole piece, that whole pie, until you do your own research and you put your own efforts into it.
Exactly.
Because we are an outlet of news, but we are not all of the news. So yeah.
Okay,
And
so so Senegal is actually doing pretty good when you start thinking about renewable sources of energy and things like that they're working on. They have approximately like 11 power stations in the country, um, 10 of which are coal. They're powered by coal, right? Which is abundant there. And one that's powered by diesel. Now, a lot of folks may not even know that uh, they also have a wind farm, right? This is, I think it's called Tybee NDIA Wind Power Station. Um, and it's actually owned by a British power company called Aquila, Lekela, right?
Notice he said British, y'all.
Right,
Notice.
right. So, um, yeah, so they have several power companies, power stations to deliver power all over Senegal, and they're currently in the process of building, and these are thermal power stations. That's what they're called, and they're
wow.
operated by Senelec. Now, um, there's also one that's being built, a hydro electric station.
Yeah,
Um,
that's gonna be powerful.
right, and that's due to be finished. Looks like that one's due to be finished. Expected to be done in 2025.
So that's almost around the corner for
Right.
them.
Um,
That's very
uh,
soon.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So you know, the hydro electric power. Now, this is something that's supposed to power or support Gambia, um, Guinea-Bissau, Guinea, um, with uh, uh, with power. So it's going to be pretty big.
Yeah.
It is going to be extremely big.
Yeah. And
And
hopefully that'll influence a better situation with the power struggle that we're seeing right now.
right, right.
And
So
they also get their power right now from the Turkish ship that's off the coast. They supplied them with about 35 megawatts of power a year, and that's since 2018. That's the
okay,
Gambia specifically.
okay, okay. And honestly, right now in West Africa, um, Senegal is one of the leading renewable energy countries
Mm.
Yes,
in West Africa. So they they,
that's
they are doing the work, and even with that, the wind farm, the wind farm is so the wind farm they have it. So they have 46 turbines. Now,
Wow.
a third of those are operational.
Muted.
A third of those will be 15. So you got 15 of them working. And of those, that farm, it supplies about 35% of the power. So, and it's just off the coast, right off the water. And yes, but now the rest of those are due to be operational in this month, by the end of this month.
Okay.
So, but yeah, they are making leaps and bounds as far as renewable energy and power stations and what they produce.
And this is things that Gambia, need to follow suit in. But we'll talk about that. Talk about that later.
Right. Considering that'll be right on the Gambian River. That's really where that station is going to be.
Come on now.
Yeah.
Okay, so now, like I keep on saying, if y'all missed the information, rewind, digest it and learn, because I especially if you're on this journey with repatriating to Africa, specifically Gambia, where we're talking about, you need to know these things. You need to know where your powers come from. You need to know a little bit, if not, as much as possible about the government. You need to know, these different events that are happening, but also do your research behind those events so that you're not just taking what they're giving you and saying this is the reason why. A lot of times, almost every single time, is something else going on, and they're covering up with the story that you read.
And that's why you want to also find an outlet that's closest to the source as possible. If you can't get a first-hand account from the person that experienced it, you want to find a source that is close as possible. That's why the resources that we use, even today, when I was doing research, my co-host here, Will, we discovered that we using the same resource. So it's like, you want to get a very good resource and you want to stick to it. And you want to also even validate that, even backtrack that too, because you never know. And that's what GCO tries to offer.
Right.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right. And so, and I think I'm gonna ask this question to you, Adam, as far as the effects that the locals are having with this power outage versus the effects that the repats are having with this power outage. Because we want to be clear, this outage that they're having is on a decent span of time. So we're talking about 8 hours to 11 hours at a time where it's no power, it's no electricity, there's nothing. Like Will said, it's during the hottest part of the day. It's too hot even to be inside, so everyone is outside trying to get a breath of fresh air. But it seems like not everyone is outside. People with a little bit more change in their pocket is inside still with the air conditioning and they fan on. So there's a disconnect somewhere. Let's talk about that.
I feel like there's a multitude. There's a multitude of differences that locals feel with this power outage situation, and that the repats and tourists that are over there feel with this power outage. One, there's the mixture of the rainy season that's going on, right? And the rainy season right now, if you watch Nice Gambia videos, make sure you subscribe to GCO Network. But if you watch Nice Gambia, his channel, he had a video recently showing the flooding that's going on right now. And it's real bad flooding in certain areas. So that on top of not having power for 8 hours in the day, 11 hours in the day, adds a whole nother dynamic for the locals. And I'll say for the locals because a lot of the areas where it's flooding, tourists aren't there. The repats don't live there. So, those areas where, there's higher buildings and it's built up nicer, the roads are nicer, that's usually where the repats go and stay. That's usually where the tourists are staying. So that's one difference. Just the geographical location of how it's affecting people is going to be a big difference. Because I'm in groups where I'm talking to locals that are on the ground. And they're telling me that, the power is going out. It's out for this length of time. He has people that he knows there, and they're letting him know the same thing. And we're in other groups, where we're not hearing the same noise. So that lets you know that, okay, the locals and the repats, as far as how they're feeling it in their locations, are different based on their locations. Now, another thing to consider is this. The locals are living there, right? And they're working there. The repats and the tourists are coming there to visit, or they're retired, so they have a little bit of stipend or money underneath them already to sustain themselves. The locals are working at jobs that are being affected by the rainy season and the power outages. So maybe they can't go to work now because there's no power. So they don't need you at work. So now their income is lessened, and they already have a lower income than the majority of the world. So the repats aren't feeling it as much because their economy is higher, and the locals' economy go down during this period. So it creates an even bigger divide. So that's two ways. That's geographical because of where they're staying. You know, the repats and the tourists are staying in nicer areas, and it's economic because the locals, they're still working jobs there. They're still trying to survive 9 to 5s there, and most of the repats, we're taught to come over there and start a business, not work a job. So automatically, we're going over there. We have more businesses, and then as far as tourists, they're in the nicer areas. They're coming over there with retirement money, with vacation money. So you're not thinking about, okay, I got to go to work and provide for my children. It's a whole different hunger and survival motif to it. So that's two differences. Now, the last difference between the locals and the repast is a communication difference. Because as we know, like we said in our last episode, there's avenues and groups that locals are in, and there's avenues and groups that tourists and repats are in. Like for instance, we talked about one day, this is off camera, how repats that are from America, you can go to the United Nations, the building, and you can get help. You can get, if something really bad's happened, you can get a way out of the situation that you're in. Well,
The embassy.
the
The
embassy,
Yes.
the United Embassy. So the locals, they don't have that option, right? Things are going bad. It's flooding like that. It's raining and storming. They can't check out of their hotel and say, "Honey, let's go to the embassy." They can't get help in that manner. So they don't have that level of government help right now. And that's what we were just speaking to with the debt and everything like that. The debt doesn't affect them. It doesn't affect the repats and the local and the tourists like it affects the locals. The locals are directly affected by the debt, directly affected by rainy season, directly affected by the electricity power outages. And right now, it's bad timing. Everything is kind of like a trifecta, and it's hitting at the wrong time. So the effects it's having on the locals and the repats, it's a disparity. It's a huge difference between it. So what do you think, Will? I'll let you have the floor.
Um. So my one of the I think a term that I would like to use is impact. Right. Right. So when you speak from an impact perspective, um, everyone's going to be impacted just differently. Right. So, and what that degree may be, that is noticeably different. What that may be. So, you know, being that Gambia is where it is, and it's the time of year that it is, it's hot. It's hot. It's hot for everybody. And now, um, instead of you probably sleeping comfortably and getting some rest, right? Most of the time, if you're hot, you really can't sleep well at all, right? And being hot, we've all been hot. Uh, my military career, I've got uh, 12 tours to somebody's desert, right? And I will tell you, being hot is different. Like, it affects you mentally, physically, spiritually. It get down in your soul. It'll make you frustrated. You can be so hot, all you want to do is drink something, even though you're hungry.
Right.
Right? And I'm not saying it to that extent, but I'm just doing a comparison, right? So I understand that the impact is that people are uncomfortable. They're out right now. We just got off a call locally with somebody in Seracunda in Saint Chaba, at the shop.
On the
Okay. We not
remember,
so
you guys,
let me be clear. Okay, let me be clear. I'm not sitting here guessing what's happening. Okay, I got the receipts. Okay.
yes,
And,
remember, guys, Will has a business in the Gambia. So, Batu-K Ice, that's his business. Check out his YouTube channel, check out his Instagram, his Facebook, because we're growing that. And he has a business in the Gambia right now, so he knows what he's talking about. And he's speaking from the business side of it.
Right. And so, like, for instance, right now, this power. So I've been going back and forth with my management team there, most of the day, most of the early morning, early afternoon, about what is happening on the ground and how we're going to pivot and what we can and can't do. Now, okay, people say, oh, well, the power's out or the voltage is not the same. If you have a generator, you should be fine, right? Okay, well, here's what you don't count on. You don't count on running your generator for 8 hours or 10
Exactly.
hours or
Yep.
more. Nobody counts on that. You count on maybe that generator running maybe 20, 30 minutes till the power comes on, at most an hour. Okay, on a good day, maybe 2, right? You don't plan for that. And most of these generators take diesel fuel. Well, because of the current situation with both inflation. Inflation has affected the entire globe. There is no escaping inflation, period.
Exactly.
So inflation affects food, it affects shelter, it affects fuels, everything that we need and use as human beings across the globe, it affects the cost of. So now what fuel costs in Gambia has increased just since my return in February, or our return in February,
Yeah,
since we came back.
that's crazy. And luckily the Dalasi hasn't decreased too much. I mean, the American value of the American dollar hasn't decreased too much, with everything that's going on. But it's just crazy to see how the price change of gas and diesel is going. It's crazy to see how the fuel is going up, the cost of generators, all of that's going to go up.
Right, right, right. So what is it? So right now, 1 gallon of gas um in Gambia is $238.
Wow. That's a lot of money for them.
Yeah, that's like $3.70 almost, something like that.
Right.
That's much money.
Right. So that's a lot of money for us.
For us,
What
yeah.
you mean? So
That's only about 60, 70 cents more than here.
Right. And I want people to understand, right? Because I ain't trying to hide nothing, man. I want everybody to win the best way they can win. And I just think that if it's for you, it's for you. I'm not here to have any trade secrets or not tell somebody how I'm doing something or how I'm conducting business. I have a 100 kilowatt generator, right? A commercial generator. And I would tell you the amount of fuel that it holds, okay? Listen, it costs a lot of money to fill that up. And then a generator of commercial size like that, when you start filling it up and you running it for multiple extended periods of time, you running it for 8 hours, 6 hours, 10 hours or more, right? So now what happens is what you didn't plan for in the budget, because you brought that for emergency to kind of bridge the gap between gaps in power, right? So what happens is now your maintenance increases.
Yep.
Right? So now your fuel filters, your oil filters for your generator, especially you have a commercial size. Now you got to start getting that oil changed every 150 hours. You say, well, oh man, 100 hours, man, you ain't gonna go over that. Now they have a week of this, you'll be over 100 hours.
Yeah.
Easy. You'll be over 100 hours. So now you got to find somebody that'll come and help you maintenance it, okay, and get that stuff done. Because not only do you need fuel for maintenance, you need oil that goes into it as well. So now you're talking about 2 additional bills, or at least 1 additional bill you have to plan on.
And then
and
then like we talked about the effects on education and health.
Right.
With health in the hospitals, they have backup generators, but the generators, like you're saying, the fuel cost goes up, so the hospital bills go up. To keep everything going in education. The power's going out. You can't have the schools in there. I mean, everybody's gonna have candles in the classroom. I mean, some places may still have it going, but a lot of them are gonna shut down, and so that's going to affect education in some areas.
No, and speaking about the schools, right, and the school that's right next to me, there in Saint Chibatuba, at the mosque. So in those rooms, those are 1 entry rooms, okay, and some of the classrooms may only have 1 or 2 windows,
Wow.
and that's only on one side because it's a block. It's built out of cinder block.
Yeah.
Right.
So the street side is walled off, okay, and then like the compound, and then you have the actual classrooms that sit there, right? And so, and this is a boarding school that's
Right.
next to me, so
It's
they are at home. This is it. This is they are at home.
Right.
So,
and we just want to applaud you again for the work you're doing there in that area too.
Oh yeah, I appreciate that. I humbly appreciate that. I just feel like everybody, at some point will do their part, and that's about as nice as I can really possibly say that. And somebody, just do your part, man. You know what it is.
Right.
You know what that is. And
if y'all
so,
don't know what we're talking about, before Will finishes his point, go to his page, check out Bot2K so you can reference, what we're talking about, so you can get the full story behind how, he's impacting the community that he is in. And
philanthropist.
Right. And just kind of follow his journey of Bot2K Eyes.
The Gambian glue.
Yeah, just check that out. Check that out. But Will, continue on to the point.
Right. So with that, right. So when you have the power, this again is what I'm talking about with the impact. So if you have no power and you haven't had power for 8 hours, okay. So when we go to get water, even out of the boreholes and all this stuff, those are pumps that are in there, right?
Exactly.
We hope they work. Okay, right? Unless you have some kind of gravity fed deal that's going on, right? But
exactly.
But you got to figure, okay, and the other impact is safety. If everything is in a blackout mode and everything is pitch black dark, right? So now driving is hazardous, riding a bicycle is hazardous, walking is hazardous, right? And when we put up those solar lights, that was for safety. That was for you know what I'm saying? Because you're trying to move, and I would tell you, Gambia is one of the darkest places you can be, especially if you're in an area with zero light.
Oh yeah, when those lights are off, it's
right.
No visibility.
Yeah.
Right. And so the impact, I think everybody's feeling it. And I would say as a business owner, current business owner there, and getting my updates today, as a matter of fact, probably like an hour and a half ago, it's impacting everybody. Nobody's escaping this. Either you don't have your AC on, you don't have the ability to have your fans on, unless you have some kind of generator action. And if you need fuel, you're gonna have to figure that out. But again, remember the lights are out. So how are the pumps on?
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yep. Right.
So how are you pumping fuel out of those tanks in the ground and there's no power?
Exactly.
Right.
So Gambia is just going to be one of those places where you really have to learn to adapt and try and pivot and go from there. But understand that these things will impact you, and just think. And this is my humble just thoughts. Just think that what impacts you impacts Gambians. It impacts everybody else. It impacts their families, your family, you as a business owner, them as business owners, and whoever else or whatever other demographic is there in Gambia that fall into either one of those categories, whether it be family, residential, or commercial.
Oh yeah. See, and that leads us into our next segment, which is what solutions are available. And really, when you think about this situation that's going on with the debt and the loans, and all that situation, when you think about what's going on as far as the power outages and the impact that is happening, and even when you think about the communication between the locals and the repats, and how maybe if that was better, that could help alleviate the power situation in different ways. What are some of the solutions that come to mind? Now, babe, I'm gonna let you take the floor first and what you think on this, and then me and we'll say what we think.
I think as far as power solutions, it's really gonna start with home. I think on a government level,
Okay.
they really have to care a little bit more about the people, to allow the people to have a little bit more power. And then I think that we as individuals got to start looking at ourselves and taking our own power back, because
Yes.
you know our governments are relying on outside resources and we're relying on the government, so we need to start relying on ourselves. And we're very big on that, because even here in America, we live in a tiny house, we living on solar energy, we living on jugs, like multiple jugs of water, so that we didn't have a electricity bill or a water bill or a house bill or a car note or a phone bill. So I think that really, honestly and truly, once more people are able to
Delete their bills.
take back their power, have land, or if they don't have land, they have a home, they have solar, they have the boreholes, and they're saving more money than they're spending, then really I feel like the economic shift, which is a big reason why the power is the way it is in Gambia, as we talked about, because of debt. And we know that when you're in debt, no matter what you are, who you are, entity, it trickles down into everything else that you do, everything else that you touch, and everything else that's involved with you. So the government got to get out of debt, and we need to start sustaining ourselves as people, and say, you know what, I'm gonna take it upon my own hands and myself to make sure that I have what I need to have. But that also starts with no, no. That also starts with um. So it's like we have to get to a place in Gambia.
We can edit this part out. You can hear us? You hear us?
I
Okay,
can now.
okay. Um, and so we just need to get to we as people become more independent, and then hopefully that'll trickle upwards, and it'll allow the economics in Gambia to become better, and then it'll allow the government to get out of the debt that it's in. So that's what I think. I think it's on both ends. It's a government issue and it's an individual issue. And once we just attack it from either end, we could find a solution, whatever that solution might be.
Okay, go ahead, Will. What you think?
I mean, renewable energy is the answer at this point. What that looks like, um, and specifically in Gambia, that's going to have to definitely start with a solar energy solution, right? Whether even starting that on a micro project or micro grid scale,
Mm-hmm.
um, for particular communities to kind of help relieve some of that initial weight that the current grid is carrying. So you have to take it
Yes.
off. It'll have to happen in phases, right? It has to happen in phases. It's not going to be an overnight thing. It's not going to be good in the 90 days, 6 months. It's just not, right?
Yeah.
And when you start talking about power usage, right? So I think if we look back, let's look back right now, and I just want to confirm, because I think we spoke about this in one of the other episodes in the podcast, the Gambian population growth, right?
Right.
Um,
Right.
and so Gambia has had a 2.5% annual growth rate since 2021 to date,
Wow.
right? So now um, we're looking at it's over 2 million folks. You went from like 1.4, 1.5 million to almost 2.5 million um, today. So let me double check here. Where are we at right now? Right now, we're at 2.6 million as of
Wow.
June 18th.
Wow.
So the current population of Gambia is 2.6 million. Now, that's not all Gambians.
Right.
Yes.
Let's understand the demographic, right? That's multiple demographics coming to do their business there, coming to to repad or repatriate to that location. Um, all of that to have businesses there, to try to produce things there, items there. And so when your population grow, and people say, oh man, well, people might say, 2%, that's nothing. When you're talking about people, that's a lot.
It's
That's a lot. Because the number I just read to you initially was from 2021.
Yes.
It's now 2023, and they're at 2.6 million. Right? So you're talking about 2.5% growth in 2 years.
Come on now.
If they average that, the power issues are going to get worse.
Right.
Yep.
Right? So I think what's going to happen, and I have faith in the current government, as we all do. I have faith in the current government that they will come up with a solution on how they're going to attack this. And I think I definitely agree with you, Zadi. You brought up a good point. It's going to take everybody working at it. It's going to take, not just, we got to wait and see what the government's going to do. No. What are you doing? What can you do to help out? And a lot of that comes from, building and reinforcing communities, right? Reinforcing the communities as far as saying, hey, look, what can we do? Can we come together as a community and start a solar farm, a mini solar farm? Can we power our own houses, our own places? Can we take a little bit of pressure off of the current grid? Because that's what's happening.
Right.
That's what's happening. The supply is not enough for the growth. They're not there, right? We have a demand that's greater than our supply.
Yes.
Right. And so that's why you have those rolling blackouts, and because sustainability of constantly using generators all the time, that's not sustainable for extended periods of time.
No,
right.
it's not.
So I would definitely say one solution in my mind, primarily right out the gate, would be solar. It's easier to manage, and it's something that exists there within the country. We have folks there, Gambians, engineers, and I know 2 of them personally that can come to your location, give you a estimate, say what you will need, and their prices are fair. Depending on what it is you want, what kind of setup you want, because again, these are custom to you, right? So if somebody's coming or planning to move, just like you guys are in October, they're planning to move. They definitely need to plan to move, just like you guys are already working right now off this off the concept. And see, that's the advantage that you guys have. You guys are coming with that understanding, that knowledge, and that acceptance of, hey, this is going to happen. They're going to be rolling blackouts. This is the situation that we're in right now. It's not forever. It's for right now. And you understand what to expect.
Yes.
And you understand the workaround. And okay, we're going to need solar. We're going to need some solar generators. We're going to need some solar lights. And so you have all that mitigation already built into your plan. Oh my God, they're gonna love you guys when you get there. They have no idea what you guys are coming with. But and so this is just my humble take on kind of what I think the initial solution probably can and could be, especially from not just a commercial, but maybe also a residential and community standpoint.
Well, from in my opinion, and I'll start with local, and I'll build up to the government level. On the local level, I feel like crowdfunding.
Yes.
Crowdfunding, communities coming together and putting the Lassie together to say, okay, now we can come to the bank and say, bank, it's a group of us coming together with this guaranteed money because it's a community, and now we can partner, get a loan to now equal something bigger, and that leads to the micro solar farms, the micro solar grids. that you can have on one plot of land. Now you're setting up and they're powering multiple houses. America, the average house takes about 6 kilowatt hours of power a day. In Gambia, the households don't have nearly as much electricity. It doesn't take nearly as much power to sustain the home in Gambia. Also in Gambia, 63% of the people in Gambia have access to power. Now, of that 63%, only half of that have good connection to that power, good amperage and voltage coming to their homes. So really, it's only about less than 30%
Yeah,
of people that really have good quality power in Gambia. So, at the local level, that crowdfunding and building up that capital to be able to generate small sources inside each community is essential. Now, you can also have small wind turbines in those houses or on top of those households that will generate power at nighttime. During the day, Gambia is right off the coast, so wind is blowing from the ocean 24/7. That's two alternate sources of energy. With that crowdfunding, you can also do geothermal drilling about 400 feet underground, which a lot of wells, depending on where you are in the world, they go that deep. 300-400 feet are is easy for a well to go that deep. Well, you dig about the same distance, 400 to 500 feet deep, and you get to the area of geothermal heat, where you can start to pull the heat up. And what they use it for, say, air conditioning situations, which take power, right? You can offset that with geothermal. If you get about 30 feet underground, the temperature stabilizes. So you're able to use that to stabilize the temperature in buildings and house homes, and that brings the demand on the energy grid down. So those are crowd-funded sources that you can use. Now, as you go up the levels, you can also, when we were in Gambia recently, we saw a wind turbine that wasn't active, a huge wind turbine that was said that it used to power a large area of where it is. So wind turbines are also an option, like how Will said earlier. Off the coast of Senegal, they have a wind farm. So something similar like that, Gambia can have a wind farm, and Gambia is much smaller, so it wouldn't take as much to power the entire nation of Gambia. So wind farms are an option. Geothermal is an option. The micro solar grids are an option. Solar farms themselves are an option. Now we're going up to like the government level here. The government can help facilitate solar farms and things of that nature. And I believe the hydro plant that's being built, if it's being built on the river that Gambia is also a part of, it should be a partnership between the Gambian government and the Senegalese government. Because if both people are affected and utilize that river, then the power source is being built there, then it should be of some type of partnership and some type of communication between them where the
it
power is
is.
shared.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's a when especially speaking about the hydroelectric portion,
Yes.
there is a partnership in place with not just Gambia. It's in place with uh, Guinea,
Yeah.
Guinea-Bissau, and those are countries that are close within the same vicinity, not far from us.
And see,
So
that should greatly help offset the power demand and the power problem that they're having right now with Senelec. And like I said earlier, that they have a Turkish ship right now that they get power from. That's another outside entity that they have to pay for power. And we know right now the biggest resource that Gambia uses for power is oil. So the green push, which is another incentive that's going on in Gambia, it's a political push that's a big movement in the government. It's called the green push, and they're pushing renewable resources. Sonoma right now is building a large solar farm in the Gambia, and they're planning on completing it within the next 2 years. You can look it up right now. It's called Sonoma. That's the name of the company, and they have a large plant that they're working on. So right, it up from the local level, with the crowdfunding up to the micro solar farms. You can even use small wind turbines to getting up to the big wind farms off the coast. Now, in the future, past the Sonoma, the solar farms, which can be crowdfunded too. Beyond that, Gambia needs to look at even larger solutions and more innovative solutions, because all these things stimulate in the education field, engineering, mathematics, science, and that's stuff that Gambia needs in droves. And so in the future, nuclear and some type of mega power source like that is something that Senegal or Gambia should look into. It's very clean. It's not as dangerous as people think it is, but it also can be a source of energy that can completely, completely cover everybody's needs and be efficient and affordable.
Right. And so I feel like,
absolutely.
just from listening to the conversation that we're having here, we really um we really gave y'all a lot of business opportunities that you could possibly explore in Gambia right now. It's a lot going on. We know right now the topic is they need power. So the challenge would be how can you guys as people that want to live there, how can repats that are already there, yes, we're speaking to you, how can the people that are on the continent, want to be in the continent or on the continent, how can we really help with knowing that we hold the strongest dollar right now in Gambia? We can't do everything, no. But just like Adam said, just as easily we can start to crowdfund. And you guys, I want y'all, to be very open to that, because we are definitely going to start crowdfunding for a lot of different charities, for a lot of different causes, for a lot of different things, where we might ask y'all for $2 a day, or we might ask y'all for $5 a week, or a one-time donation of $20, a one-time donation of $30. But we are going to be doing those things, the things that we're talking about. We're going to try our best to be involved in those at a micro level, and at a macro level. Is it macro? Is it macro?
Yeah,
Is macro?
micro and macro. Macro is big, micro is small.
Okay, so I said it right.
Now, GCO Network family, if you want to contact us and reach us, we have info@gconetwork.com. Will?
Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
Info at
Info at
GCOnetwork.com. You can also reach Will at Batu K Ice on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube. We have books out right now. Will is author of one of our best-selling book right now. It's called How to Build a Business in the Gambia. You can look that up on Goodreads. You can also look that up on Amazon as well. That's all our best-selling book at the moment. It's very insightful. If you want to start your own business in Gambia, check that out, please. Also, you can check us out, PVTV. We have our own YouTube where we dive into our experience on transitioning and repatriating to the Gambia. It's been an amazing journey. We just took a trip there in February, just came back, and we're heading there to live for good in October. So we can't wait for that. And we're working on a channel for our kids too. So, check out that too soon. And also, I want to say, please, 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 please reach out to us, comment below, and I want you to like, comment, and subscribe, because that's very important. And we always finish with, family, do your own research.
Right. And before we leave off, does anybody have any last words, anything that they want to give to the people? You, Adam, Will, do y'all have anything that you feel like they need to hear right now? It could be regards to what we're talking about, or just in general. We always want to start and end with a little bit of motivation and make the people understand that we are here for them. We're here to inform you, we're here to help you, we're here to guide you, and ultimately we're here to let y'all see our journey as well. So anything that y'all have before we're done?
I just want to say collaboration and celebration, as Will christened many moons ago.
Right.
Collaboration and celebration, and us building a bridge between the locals and the repats, which is a point that I didn't speak about earlier that I wanted to speak about. Us building a bridge between the locals and the repats in a situation like this electricity situation, and even rainy season that comes every year. People need help every year. And, us building that communication is important, because we can have things like how we have here in America, the Salvation Army and Goodwill and different food drives and stuff like that, where it's a central building and it's a business. They made a business off of it where people can bring canned food and extra appliances and stuff like that, and be able to help individuals in need that don't have anything. All the time when you go to these stores, people walk up to you, can I have $2? Can I have $5? So that little bit will help them. So, that's my last tidbit. That communication, that collaboration, strengthening that in times like this, we need to come together.
Right. What do you have for the people, Will? For the family?
I will say this. Guys, if your heart is really in it and you really want to come to the continent, more specifically, if you want to come to the Gambia, then make sure that you do your due diligence, you prepare, you do your research. We are available to give you whatever information and knowledge that we can to support your journey, because that's exactly what we're here for. We're here to give you, give it to you straight with no chaser. Okay,
Yep.
there's no plans. There's no behind the scenes. We don't listen. We're not trying to get you for nothing. We're just trying to get information and pass it out to folks and be as real and transparent as absolutely possible. If
Right.
that's the information you're seeking, then we have what you need. Okay, and you can see the work we've done. You can look and listen at the podcast and stuff that we give you the information about on GCO Network, with Batu Ice, BA the number 2 KAYICE, Gambia. Okay, Batu Ice, Gambia. Um, and also with PVTV. We're all intertwined at some point. But guys, if this is something you want to do, don't talk yourself out of it. Come on, make the move. Come on, do what you got to do.
We need you.
Right.
Do your research. Do your research. The information's there. Know what you're walking into. Okay, and go ahead and do it. And do it. Because don't wait for the right time. The right time is now. Because tomorrow's not promised. Next week, next year is not promised. If this is in your heart and this is what you really want to do, you can do it.
Yep.
Yes.
You're talking to these are folks that are doing it in the process right now.
Yep. We're doing it right now. So, you can believe us, but do your own research. Make sure you do your own research.
Right. Right. Well, I think that's all we have for y'all today. Of course, thank you, family, for watching us, for supporting us. We hope to give you great content, and we hope that you enjoy what we're giving to you. And please, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, make sure you comment.
Yes.
Let us know what you thought about this episode. Let us know if this will tip the scale, if you're gonna come to Gambia. If not, why not? Because we don't want to scare you, but we want to give you information. And
that's
also ask us questions below that we can maybe talk about in the next topic. And we want a little bit more engagement from y'all, so y'all talk to us so we can talk to y'all, and so we can really start building this community that we're trying to build.
Yes, we're even trying to go live. Our brother Will here, Batu Ice's YouTube channel, he just had his first live, so make sure you check that out. And we also plan on trying to go live every week with his channel as well. And eventually we're going to be going live with PVTV.
Right.
So you guys get ready for that. And we're definitely going live with GCO Network too. So guys, there's going to be just a big melting pot of it's a network. Right. So there's going to be a big melting pot of shows that we're going to be able to give you guys on a weekly basis. So get ready.
Right. And to Adam's point, a lot of the topics that you might want to ask GCO, but we are not going live yet. You can definitely ask Will on his lives. He's more than happy to answer all the comments that you guys sent. So, just stay tuned. And once again, thank you for watching, for supporting.
Jerry Jeff.
And we'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.
Jeff.